Labour are to legalise the harmful practice of carrying chickens by their legs, says charities. I'm going to read into this more from The Guardian, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article from The Guardian with the headline that Labour are to legalise the harmful practice of carrying chickens by their legs, says to charities. The government accused of shocking choice to dilute protection standards in first animal welfare policy. Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share this across social media so others are notified of this video. Now, I do want to take this, I will say, do take this story with a little bit of a pinch of salt. Simply on the basis that Defra have not responded to this story, and there are some indications from what charities have heard and things that they may change, is in terms of changing certain laws to allow people to carry the chickens by their legs. Now, I am anywhere near when it comes to an animal's experts in any way, shape, or form, and please feel free to highlight and indulge not just me but those in the comments, those about this. But what I will say is that it just must be as humane as possible when it comes to the handling not just chickens but any animals in general, and without a shadow of a doubt that the protections and the red lines of looking after animals as well as other laws have changed significantly since we have left the European Union. That has no doubt played a part in this. And I think, and I'm trying to understand what is the benefit of Labour changing this. And is this to do with money? Is this to do with costs? Are they being pressured by a political group? I'm not 100% sure. So let's read a bit more into it to try and understand why maybe Labour may potentially be doing this. So Labour is using its first animal welfare policy since entering government to dilute standards by legalising the harmful practice of carrying chickens by their legs, charities have said. So European Transport Regulation 1/2005, which still applies in the UK, prohibits lifting chickens by their legs on farms and during loading and unloading, but the government is going to change the law to permit the widespread but illegal method according to the Animal Law Foundation. This comes despite the Animal Welfare Committee of the Department of Environment, Food and Rural Affairs, Defra, had previously said that it has caused distress and injuries such as fractures and dislocations. So, what's the benefit then? Edie Bowles, the Executive Director of the Animal Law Foundation, says it is shocking that the Labour government has chosen to dilute of welfare protections in its first animal welfare policy. It is especially surprising given it is the first dilution of an EU animal welfare protection since Brexit. The British people do not want this. They want animal welfare standards high and in force. The decision to legalise the inhumane handling of chickens in the UK is a stark reminder of the lack of care for animals' welfare at the highest level. During and after the Brexit campaign, leaving the European Union was repeatedly framed as an opportunity to strengthen the UK's animal welfare standards. During the general election campaign, the Environment Secretary, now then Shadow Steve Rees, said the Conservatives are on the side of animal cruelty, Labour will end it. Despite the EU regulations, the government have until recently argued that it was not illegal to handle chickens by the legs, and Defra's code of practice explicitly permitted leg catching. However, the Animal Law Foundation threatens Defra with legal action, prompting the government to concede that carrying chicken by their legs was currently prohibited. At the same time, it informed the charity that it would be changing the law so that it was no longer forbidden. Right. So, the government argued it was not illegal to do it. Then the Animal Law Foundation told them it was illegal. And now they're going to be changing, according to the Animal Law Foundation, the government had told them that they're going to change the law so it will be no longer forbidden. That's the little crux. This is essentially the crux of it, this piece here. So basically, as of right now, we are going on the premise that the Animal Law Foundation are telling us that this is what the government wants to do. They said, no, you can't do that, it's against the law. So the government are going to change the law so that it's no longer illegal. So I guess the question is, if what they're saying is true here, Animal Law Foundation, why are the government doing this? What are the benefits of doing this? This is the question I don't have an answer to at the moment. So Kipster, a Dutch pottery farm that produces carbon neutral eggs, has calculated that the additional cost of handling chickens upright is 0.00044 euros per egg. Sean Gifford, the executive director of the Humane League, said chickens are thinking, feeling animals. Some are shy, some are playful, and they will, and they all want to live their lives free from harm. Grabbing them by the legs, which are often sensitive and painful due to being bred to grow so quickly to maximize profit, then carrying them upside down causes intense suffering. This outrageous decision by the government will ensure millions of animals continue to needlessly suffer and is completely at odds with Labour's pledge to introduce the biggest boost in animals' welfare for a generation. The Humane League will be at the Court of Appeal on Tuesday to challenge the government for allowing fast-growing broiler chickens known as Franken chickens, which suffer from a wide range of health problems. The High Court rejected the initial challenge last year. Defra have declined to comment. This is the thing here. So the government has not really. We haven't heard from this an official statement from the government. Now, it's entirely possible that by the time you guys hear this video, there may have been an official statement by the government on this, on the leg catching as per se. But what I will say is that, obviously, if it does cause chickens to cause intense suffering of putting them in that position, then they should not be put in that in any way, shape, or form. We need to make sure that animals are humanely to be as humanely as possible used. And it's kind of hard for me to talk about this because I am a meat eater, and I don't think I could ever turn vegan. But it does obviously it does bother me the way sometimes animals are treated, not just in the UK but across the world. And I do want to make sure that it is done as humane as possible when it comes to the use of it. I know, from a global perspective, we need to reduce our meat consumption. I can totally understand those criticisms in the comments. But, this carrying the chickens by the legs, I don't want to see chickens any more suffer. I don't want to see chickens or any animals suffering any more than they need to during these processes in any way, shape, or form. I just don't. I know at the end of the day, these farms and those who handle them, they have a job to do. I understand that. They've got money to make. I totally get that. But, we're talking about living beings here, in these animals. And we should always try to look for the most humane way possible of using them. But what do you guys honestly think about this story? Because this is one that I am struggling with. So feel free to enlighten me down in the comments below about Labour potentially, maybe, to legalising the harmful practice of carrying chickens by their legs. Is there any truth to this? Have you heard anything about this? Any more to this? I am taking this story with a pinch of salt, so I recommend you take this story with a pinch of salt too. But if it is to be the case, how would you feel about it if Labour government did do this? Let me know your thoughts and more down in the comment section below. If you found this video interesting, please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate it. Share it across social media so others are notified of this video. And subscribe if you haven't already, because it really does help support the channel. If you want to go one step further and financially support me and the work that I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content on those platforms. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.